Welcome back, everybody. John Thompson went to integrated Catholic schools. As a matter of fact, I remember watching John play basketball at John Carroll High School when they ripped off 55 straight wins. But make no mistake about this. Washington was still a very segregated city, very much like the rest of the South. Racism was rampant, and John coached at a very white university, Georgetown. John Thompson never forgot who he was, where he came from, or the color of his skin.
I wondered what I would have done if I'd have been born white. That would have been a disadvantage. I wouldn't have had a cause. I wouldn't have had something that I could have jumped on somebody about. So I look back at it and I say, you know, the Lord does work in strange ways.
I mean, I guarantee you all that still motivates you, wouldn't me?
The thing about it is that I've never known, Tim, anything different. And I also had two people that loved me to pieces. And I felt that that was my strongest weapon that I went with, is the fact that my mother and father loved me to pieces. My father couldn't read or write. His name was John Thompson, too. He couldn't spell it. But he was one of the smartest people that I ever been around in my life, with common sense and his values and what he wanted. So I felt safe.
Nationally, do you ever think of the impact that you had for African Americans?
I never thought about it as much until after I stopped coaching. You know, and so many, and particularly African Americans, came up to me and said, thank you, older people. See, we've always been labor, you know, but we've never been management.
Right.
See, and that was to show that we could manage a group of people. So I thought about that, but I didn't think about it in the context that a lot of people have come up to me and said thank you. And it's made me feel good, though, you know, because you don't sit down, not unless you're crazy, and think about, I'm some kind of leader, I'm doing this for my people. When folks do that, I run the hell away from them.
You've alluded to all this and how difficult it was and breaking down barriers, but most of all just being you. But when you sit back and you see Barack Obama as the President of the United States, what does that mean like for you and your grandkids?
Well, it means an awful lot, and you can't describe it because it's more of a feeling than it is anything else. I couldn't imagine the expression on my mother and father's face had they seen that man being the president. I would just love to have looked back, because they are the ones who went through most of the bullshit. I went through some, certainly, but my mother and father went through a hell of a lot more than I did. That's for a lot of people who made sacrifices, a lot of people who took a lot of crap. You know, and when you see that man there, that's gotta mean something very special. It gotta mean you have options.
End it with this. When are you coming back to coach?
Never. I'm like Chief Joseph. I will fight no more forever.
A very open, honest head coach John Thompson, and I certainly appreciate his time with us. Hey, coming up next, a look back at Mason's monumental, mesmerizing run to the Final Four. You won't want to miss this.